Few fighters in boxing history struck fear like Mike Tyson. At his peak, fights didn't unfold, they ended violently. This is the top 5 wins of Mike Tyson, a countdown of the nights when raw intimidation, speed, and knockout power collided. From the rise of the youngest heavyweight champion ever, to the performances that defined Tyson's terrifying prime, this series strips away the myth and focuses on the wins that truly mattered. The moments when Tyson was at his most unstoppable. Number 5. 30 May 1987 versus Pinklon Thomas. Billed as Hard Road to Glory, this fight marked another brutal step in Mike Tyson's march toward undisputed heavyweight supremacy. Defending his WBA and WBC titles, Tyson faced former champion Pinklon Thomas, a tough, experienced contender who entered knowing survival would be his greatest challenge. From the opening bell, Tyson stalked Thomas relentlessly, pressing forward with explosive hooks and combinations. He nearly ended the fight in the first round, trapping Thomas on the ropes and unloading a ferocious barrage that showcased the raw violence of Tyson's prime. Thomas survived by clinching, jabbing, and leaning on veteran instincts, managing to frustrate Tyson long enough to drag the fight into the middle rounds. But the pressure never eased. In the 6th round, Tyson finally broke through, landing a crushing left hook that visibly stunned Thomas before unleashing a savage 15-punch combination. Thomas collapsed for the first knockdown of his career, prompting trainer Angelo Dundee to step in and halt the punishment. The fight was ruled a technical knockout, another emphatic statement from Tyson. Beyond the knockout itself, the victory carried historic weight. It came during HBO's Heavyweight World Series, a tournament designed to unify the division, and left Tyson holding 2 of the 3 major titles, with only 1 fight remaining to crown an undisputed champion. This was Tyson not just winning, but advancing, methodically and violently, toward heavyweight immortality. Number 4. 22nd January 1988 versus Larry Holmes. Billed as heavyweight history, this was more than a title defense. It was a symbolic passing of eras. Mike Tyson entered as the undisputed heavyweight champion, while Larry Holmes returned from retirement, chasing one last shot at reclaiming greatness after years of controversy surrounding his losses to Michael Spinks. The fight carried enormous cultural weight. Holmes had long modeled his style on Muhammad Ali, who sat ringside on the night, and many framed the bout as a proxy debate. How would Tyson have fared against Ali's generation? Holmes talked confidently beforehand, but once the bell rang, the gap in age, speed, and power quickly became clear. Holmes attempted to survive with movement, jabs, and clinching, briefly finding moments of success, particularly early in the 4th round. But Tyson's pressure never relented. As Holmes backed toward the ropes, Tyson detonated a sequence of crushing shots, dropping the former champion repeatedly in the same round. Each knockdown came with increasing violence, until a final right hook flattened Holmes for the 3rd time and forced the stoppage. The technical knockout was decisive and brutal. Tyson hadn't just beaten a former great, he had dismantled him. For many fans, this was the night Tyson fully transcended hype and became something more ominous, a dominant, undisputed champion who appeared capable of overwhelming legends just as easily as contenders. Number 3. 1 August 1987 versus Tony Tucker. Billed as the ultimate, this bout represented the final step in Mike Tyson's rapid rise to the summit of boxing. It was the climax of the Heavyweight World Series, a tournament designed to unify the division, and the night Tyson aimed to become the undisputed heavyweight champion. Unlike Tyson's previous title opponents, Tony Tucker was no easy demolition job. Fresh off winning the vacant IBF title only 9 weeks earlier, Tucker arrived confident, mobile, and willing to engage. Early on, he gave Tyson problems. Using awkward movement and quick counters, Tucker landed clean shots and briefly disrupted Tyson's rhythm, even stealing a couple of early rounds and proving far more durable than most expected. As the fight settled, Tyson adjusted. From the middle rounds onward, his pressure and bodywork began to take effect. He closed distance more effectively, landed heavier power shots, and gradually forced Tucker into survival mode. Tucker's output dropped, his movement became more defensive, and clinching replaced ambition as Tyson imposed himself physically. By the championship rounds, Tucker resorted to showmanship and taunts rather than sustained offense. But the outcome was no longer in doubt. Tyson controlled the latter half of the fight and earned a clear unanimous decision, becoming the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion in history. While it lacked the violence of his knockouts, this win was crucial. It showed Tyson could adapt, endure resistance, and dominate over 12 rounds, completing his transformation from destructive contender to fully unified heavyweight king. Number 2, 22nd November 1986 versus Trevor Berbick. This was the night Mike Tyson officially arrived at the top of the heavyweight division. At just 20 years old, Tyson challenged reigning WBC champion Trevor Berbick in the first major step of the Heavyweight World Series, with history firmly in his sights. Berbick had only just claimed the WBC title himself, edging Pinklon Thomas by decision, but his reign was immediately overshadowed by the sheer momentum behind Tyson. Despite being the champion, the 32-year-old Berbick entered as a clear underdog against the 27-0 Wrecking Machine, who had stopped 25 opponents and was chasing Floyd Patterson's record as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. From the opening bell, the fight was brutally one-sided. Tyson exploded forward with trademark speed and power, battering Berbick with vicious combinations and giving the champion no room to breathe. By the end of the first round, Berbick was already reeling, having been driven across the ring by a savage flurry. Round 2 was even more emphatic. Tyson dropped Berbick early with a crushing combination, and although Berbick beat the count, he was helpless under the sustained assault. Moments later, a right to the body followed by a devastating left hook sent Berbick crashing down again. His attempts to rise ended in one of boxing's most iconic images, Berbick collapsing repeatedly as his legs betrayed him. Referee Mills Lane waved it off at 2:35 of the second round, crowning Mike Tyson the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. At 20 years and 4 months old, Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a defining win that marked the beginning of one of boxing's most fearsome reigns. Number 1, 27th June 1988 versus Michael Spinks. This was the fight that answered everything, once and for all. Mike Tyson and Michael Spinks entered the ring both undefeated, both heavyweight champions, and both with legitimate claims to the throne. Tyson held the WBA, WBC, and IBF belts, having bulldozed his way through HBO's Heavyweight World Series. Spinks, meanwhile, was the ring and lineal champion, the man who had never lost his crown in the ring after dethroning Larry Holmes. It was boxing's ultimate showdown, the richest fight in history at the time, and which drew comparisons to Ali versus Frazier in the build-up. The build-up was electric. Experts were split. Legends, writers, and champions debated whether Spinks' movement, speed, and ring IQ could outbox Tyson's raw destruction. Muhammad Ali picked Spinks. So did Sugar Ray Leonard, Archie Moore, and Teddy Atlas. Tyson entered as a 4-1 favorite, but doubt still lingered. That doubt lasted 91 seconds. From the opening bell, Tyson exploded forward and shattered the script. A thunderous left hook landed within the first 10 seconds, instantly forcing Spinks into survival mode. Trapped on the ropes, Spinks was overwhelmed by Tyson's pressure. A brutal left uppercut and crushing body shot sent Spinks to his knee for only the second knockdown of his career. Moments later, Tyson slipped a Spinks' right hand and fired a savage left-right combination that flattened the lineal champion. This time, Spinks could not rise. Referee Frank Cappuccino counted him out. The fight was over after just 10 punches. 8 landed by Tyson. In one devastating round, Mike Tyson unified everything: the belts, the lineage, and the argument. It was named Ring Magazine's Round of the Year for 1988, and it stands as the most iconic win of Tyson's career. The night he didn't just become undisputed champion, but an undisputed force of boxing history.